Now this area here represents the original entrance to Logain's hovel, but since we went through the alternative route, it is the entrance. We are going to tackle the drag the opposite way. Now the drag is a retreat from the Black Mountain Clan mines, in which it is a maze filled with all manner of creatures. First of all, we're going to encounter the golems, rock monsters, but with our new electrical weapons, well, they won't pose a problem. I'm going to really give you the clip notes of this area. It takes about 45 minutes to complete. It's full of traps. We are over leveled for being here, but we are over. You can max your level halfway through the game. Now, what else is here? There are other family enemy trees, but let's concentrate on these rock monsters first. Now, technically, the corpses that surrounded the entrance to Logain's resting place, were an indication that how could he survive for so long without any armor and just using melee skills. Annoying. I don't know how I miss headshots at such a close range, but random numbers are random. Back to the cliff notes. Next enemies, the rats, rock rats, prodigious rodents, and poisonous rats like in the sewers. And I call them out of nowhere. Nothing to write home about. When I say that this area is a maze, I mean it. Most corridors are identical, some of them are trapped. In fact, most of the chests are trapped, but since I told you we are over leveled, so the strategy for traps from now on is going to be to face tank them. I wanted to dub this episode Why is my healer on point, because I nearly lose Jaina a couple of times. For some reason her AI, she has one impressive dexterity for fighter class, and she's already a master fighter, so I'm not too worried. Now, what else did we talk about here? The quest to bring the ancient treasure, ancient family relic, ancient family ale, call it whatever you like. It's a two-stage quest. First of all, you need to find the key in one part of the mines, then you've got to open the door to the chamber where the treasure is located. I'll do this later. Now, this place is littered with treasures, with some useful items. I'll pick them up on the way. Next tier of enemies here, the apes, gorillas, call them whatever you want. They have thick skins, so that means resistant to physical attacks, resistant to poison, as far as I'm concerned. Fire and electricity are the ways to go. Speaking of fire, the flamethrower is not such a good weapon. In my trial run I saw that it did, for comparison's sake, it did as much damage on average as a pistol, despite evidence of the contrary. I'm going to claim that the mod bugged out. And first mini boss, so to speak, but it's again, we are so vastly over leveled that it's not longer going to be an issue. In fact, over leveling has a second interesting quality to it. Most areas of the world map are divided by your expected level, with enemy tables corresponding to the possible encounters you can have. Once you surpass the expected level for an area, you will only encounter scripted events. That means that between shrouded hills and Terrand, levels 1 to 30, if I'm correct, you can find random encounters. Past level 30, you will only find Molokian hand agents trying to assassinate you. Those do not constitute as random encounters, in fact they are scripted, so you will still see them. They will still persistently attack you even if they are level 9 and you are level 50. Next, well, there are more apes of the lesser variety. They are proportionally weaker, of course, spiders, because always Arcanum, always spiders. The poisonous variety, the lesser fire variety, the greater fire variety. There's no ice elemental in this game, but we've got a Tesla gun. I call that a trade-off. There is a spider mini-boss, which, just like the Dread Crystal Spider, is a large-scale imaging of an existing enemy of the game. I'm going to say that it's, for its time, it's the best they could do. I'm not complaining about not having a unique asset. Well, now I'd like to address something that right now we are being limited in our many shots because of our encumbrance, and the only solution to that would be to increase our strength. Changing the subject, next enemy tier here, werewolves. Spoiled ahead, but yes, looping categories from wolves, dread wolves, alien wolves, timber wolves, and werewolves. The later have, unlike their predecessor, they can do stamina damage. Some of them can poison you. The dread wolves are absolute a nightmare, as they were in the Black Mountain Mines. What else is their peculiarity? Werewolves, they are extremely weak to fire, but since we don't have any fire weapons, machine gun will have to do. It's always possible Smith how such an ecosystem could survive, but well, it's a game I don't think much about. Again, I will have to draw a comparison to Diablo, with a mazy large area mostly devoid of anything except enemies and loot. Except for a turn-based combat, it doesn't break the flow, but it trivializes combat a little bit, turning it into a more industrial, if you can call it industrialized format. You start a fight, finish a fight. It's all about it's resource management, but in a much different form, in which you can actually compare combat abilities, convert and compare combat abilities, unlike some other RPGs, say like well, any pen and paper derivative, where using a spell or not could mean the difference between life and death in the next combat, with situational perks instead of I'd say it's at more wolves, instead of perks that are that can be converted into damage, that can be directly converted into damage instead of a binary state of win and lose. Some werewolves poison you. Now, to further reinforce the idea, take for example this fight in which you have a werewolf with an enemy with situation with attacks that could mean a party wipe. They have, for which there's again a counter strategy. Now, there is a direct counter strategy with a specific spell, or you can try to make do with circumstantial spells. If you could convert all of those abilities into damage, then you would have a single a numbers, effectively would have a numbers game, but not something that would make or break your party. I'm clearly not explaining this well enough, but here are the here are the biggest enemies of this particular zone. Let's go to the werewolf zone. As always, they can damage your armor, they can poison you, and their attack also packs quite a bite, since we cannot dodge much unless you are quite adept with dodging and with a few more points of experience. That your dodging mechanics will be more like dodging chance would be a realistic 50-50. As always, explosives are great for scattering enemies. That's their main function, and with a few points in it, you can almost forget about friendly fire. In here, it is where we will find a mechanized as new schematic and the key to the area where the ancient treasure is located. Ancient family heirloom is located. Also mithril, because well, it can get expensive. This is the place with the there it is. That's the treasure. Now, looking at the map, or looking at the map in a second, you will see that this place is just that. Just one giant maze filled with enemies. You're supposed to go around, fight them, and again, this just means that the more encounters you have here, the less difficult they become, the less important they become. If you have, it becomes just a by the numbers fight. Now I'm going to skip ahead and go. And of course, it's nighttime. Although he doesn't sleep for some reason. Certainly one of the most charming sections of the game. Well, the game really could use all the humanizing it can get.
How can I help you?
Now we get a miner's helmet, and that goes to the dwarf because it's an upgrade for his helm. Frankly, I haven't really been paying attention to party equipment, considering that I'm doing all the heavy lifting. Oh, it's not much. Now, let's go back to the plot. We have to go to the Elven City. We don't know how to get there. The town closest to the pass, closest to the possibly location of the Elven Forest, will have a clue. This is Stillwater. Stillwater has a number of side quests. We'll be going through them for a while, but since it's nighttime, and if you remember a long time ago, once we received that in the first Tarant visit, we received a telegram from Virgil's master to come visit him in the inn in Stillwater.
What is it that you want? Excuse me, that book is interesting, don't you think? It seems that these Malokian hand assassins were part of some larger group called the Darien Ka. What did he call them? The Order of the Dead. Obviously, these fellows all had some sort of a disagreement. Not all that bad. Ha! Obviously, Joachim hasn't run into them lately. That fellow Trellian did sound like an agreeable sort, though, didn't he? Anyone who chooses to side against something called the Order of the Dead is all right in my book. Yes, you've got a point there. I'm sure the man was no saint. Then again, who really is? We've all got, well, blood on our hands. In the end, we all just play the roles given us. Sometimes they don't fit so well, but I guess we make do. Yes, I'd never have thought myself worthy of this affair, and I shouldn't be making judgments about anyone's character. I think I'd best just keep my bloody mouth shut. Listen, there's something that happened to me. Well, because of me, because I was foolish, because I was a coward. Burdens like mine, they don't go away. They always come back to collect what is due them. Someday the balance will have to be paid. No, I shouldn't have said anything about it. As I've said, the past is in the past. I don't know. I was hoping that Joachim would be here to give us a little guidance. It seems we've been running blind without the reins, doesn't it? I guess we should just stick to the task at hand. Yes, the day's not getting any younger.
And speaking of characterization moments, now, what is there to do around in this town? First of all, we need to get the rumor mill going on for the possible side quests. The only person right now who is courteous to us is the beggar. That has got to change. There's always this gamblers around here. They're in every town. They're absolutely random. We cannot scam them, and you can only have one chance to play with them. I really don't know how they operate. I've never really lost with them, so you can always try your luck. It's pretty easy once you play in the game a few times. Now you have a missing wizard, something about Mithril, the Stillwater giant. Yeah, we're going to cover most of them. In fact, we're going to cover all of them. Now that I think about it. Stillwater's again a little hub town with a few quests here and there, and they're mostly harmless. There's no really moral dilemma here like with Madame Tussauds. In fact, one of them is pretty. In fact, if this town is so inconsequential to the plot that he could get wiped off the map and nothing would happen. In fact, that's one of the alternatives to the game, but I won't spoil it for now. This is another temple involved in the Gods of Arcanum quest. Again, we will get to it when we get to it. What did she ask? And pretty much someone stole the statue from. She asked to get it back. It's also something that I really like about this temple, that the offering is right there. It's a root of passion, it's an herb that grows in the very same garden. Now, recovering the idol. If you the bartender just said that the ugliest person in town, the Quasimodo, just became incredibly popular and liked. Well, if that isn't suspicious at all, I don't know what is. Passion root. Getting for future reference. Now let's quickly solve this quest the way that God intended, by talking. Since we are a mostly talky run, I mean, persuasion is just you put 1 point for minimal effort, and you get full quest experience. I mean, what's there not to like? Now I think I'm going to skip. Yes, I do indeed skip most of the trading. Have to re-equip my characters. Have to sell everything. In any case, most of the gemstones are that just vendor trash. In fact, I really don't. Once you hit 10,000 gold coins, you really should stop worrying about money. In fact, I'm going to say that in 3 or 4 videos, I'm going to break the game with the explosive skill tree. Because you have a return of investment of about 3,000% on your, or was it 30,000%? Irrelevant. 3,000% on your items. Yes, with the 5th discipline of the explosive tree, the grenades, you can create a gunpowder that sells for 8 gold coins, and metal cans that can be found in the trash for 0 gold coins. You can sell them for, you can create 3 items which you can sell for 500 coins each, between 500 and 700 depending on your levels of your skill. So that's how we're going to break the game. For some reason he is courteous to us from the get-go, and we're going to convince him to return the stolen idol. I mean, he's not a pretty good liar, and you can do this quest with about 4 points of persuasion. It's quite easy, right? I mean, of course we could kill him, we could just enter at night and steal it while he's sleeping. The biggest problem with this is going to be carrying the statue. And here am I forgetting that with one click of a button I could have put it on its place, but that's the quest, that's the... Yes, while carrying it around you get a 3-point increase to our beauty. Again, the beauty, it's one of those weird stats. Really high beauty will have a real fast initial reaction, and with an extremely high beauty, most random encounters simply won't happen because the enemies have such a high natural reaction to you that they won't go below the 0 threshold, which is the threshold at which they start attacking. Now, and this is the end of the quest chain.